morning, my AKA Patters. It's the morning. We're brewing the coffee. And why am I coming to you so early on this Sunday morning? Because I gotta drop 2 videos today. The reason for it, well, okay, couple reasons. Number one, the worst reason, maybe the best reason. I was out all freaking night. I slept these many hours, so we're here though. We're here. We're ready to make beautiful comic book content for all of you. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Subscribe, support, hit that like button, leave a comment. I really do love the comments. I know I get behind on the comments, but I try and go through every single one of them. So along the way, we're talking Grok Comics. We're still in the window of Black History Month. And because of that, we're talking Black Cobra as Zero. That's right, everyone. The book I promised. Grok Comics. Bill Root. That's the guy behind this. These are your modern day classic DC comics. Now, I interviewed Bill a while ago on my Instagram. We did 30 questions to change your life. He was awesome during it. He still needs to watch Wrath of Khan, but Bill's going through a little bit of life right now. And I thought this video, sending this video to him with nothing but love, nothing but glory, nothing but all of it. I just wanted to show this book off while we still were in the window of Black History Month, because I feel like what he put together here with this book, especially with the cover, okay, it's important, and I think it's a lesson. I honestly, I feel like it's a lesson for anyone out there making an independent comic. Bill, at this point with Grok Comics, has a stack. There's almost like a library, an omnibuy, multiple trade paperbacks worth of material already, and he's following a very DC Comics format, which is he's telling a narrative, but along the way he's introducing new characters in 2 methods: backups and what he calls secret files. DC Comics at one time had secret origins, and he's educating us with these characters, with these new bios, with this new information along the way, while telling a larger story. And that larger story is really of biblical times, and we're getting biblical lessons. And when I say biblical, I don't mean that they're taken right from the Bible. I mean, when we talk about movies, like something like Lawrence of Arabia, we might say Lawrence of Arabia. We might even say Bruce Willis in Armageddon is a biblical movie. That's what I'm referring to here. And along the way, we do get lessons, and we do get a little bit of a path. And this is something we want in every single story we read. Every single story that we read, we want to be able to learn, period. Not learn the lesson, but we want to be able to learn. The best stories are the ones you learn from. And I feel like that idea has lost itself in so much of the independent media, independent content that's circulating today. But Grok Comics and Black Cobra here, especially Black Cobra, because I think this is the best idea that Bill's put out. It rises to the top, and I've honestly got to feel like that Bill and his books and his characters, he's far out. He's far out from the level of attention that would pop. But when it does pop, there's going to be a treasure trove of books. I mean, it's going to be madness when people discover what this line is and what this line is really about and what he's doing within the superhero space. Immensely important. So let's hit the drawing table. Shamir Moore, that's our boy here. Let's have a look at him, and he's got one of the cooler origins, and we're going to somewhat analyze, and I say somewhat because this book's only 12 pages long, but we're going to kind of, like, not analyze, I say consider. We're going to consider how to present multiple ideas in a 12-page format. That's also important because everyone's locked into doing 22 pages, 42 pages, 28 pages. You can put your ideas out there in a professional manner, and it can still be good. It can still be awesome. Let's do it. So there it is. Now, before we get started, let me clear the path. This is from last night's stream. I was only able to get to one quick stream last night. This is Turtle Soup Thursday, Biker Mice from Mars. We draw on cardboard piece of circles because, you know, we're maniacs and we're creative and we can't be held back. So let me take something off the top here so we can kind of discuss it. So I just want to be able to show off really what this stack is. And we're just going to go through just the covers. It's an independent universe. It's not just independent comics. We have a lot of characters. We have a ton of ideas. I'll show you the secret files that we were discussing. But we get into like the origins and we get into the creations of some of these characters. We have full bios and we have just a ton of ideas. Ton of old ideas, like classic ideas, again, brought to light, brought into the new, updated, reconfigured, switched around. This is what you do when you have no resources. And I really feel like Bill and Grok Comics, because along the way he does get a little bit of help, but this is it's almost like the peak. This is almost the pinnacle of how far you can take it and what you can do and what you should do and what your books should look like. Your books should look like real books. And I know, you know, we can put real in quotes there, but with real quotes. Okay, so let's have a quick look at Black Cobra here, and we're going to be highlighting everything I just showed you. I might just do a live stream where we go through that entire stack in chronological order of Grok Comics. So this cover here, this cover is so impactful to me. This cover, because look, it's very simple. It's a little bit of the crypt scenario. It just looks cool. It looks cool. The coloring's awesome. The idea, like we get the idea that he's emulating or channeling the soul of a snake, the energy of a snake, the idea of a snake. You know, like his hand movements are great. I don't know. The logo's fantastic. So Bill's really good too. Just to highlight the back. He gives you the reading order of everything. Now, I think material like this and what's on the back can be more designed towards what you would call a infographic. I think Bill needs infographics to a high level to just encourage people a little bit more to delve and to dive into these books. But let's start. So we get the thank yous here. We get the credits page. Black Cobra, issue 0, Retribution, another home run image. And we get into a fight. We don't have a lot of dialogue. We don't have a lot of captions. Some might say this is a hit, but what we get here, though, we get this like flashback where our boy is basically just being tortured, and he sees the guy. You know, Bill also does. I talk about this. We have Distant Thunder, Nephilim 5, and Flame Shot. Bill, I see so many books, even books from the big two, that introduce like a panoramic of characters that don't tag. They don't tag them, and you don't know who the characters are. We just saw this with our Nubia review, but this is to further that observation. If you're tagging it in the panoramic, the best thing you can do is give little bios and descriptions of each character with what their power sets are. This is a Chris Claremont. This is a Marvel comic. This is an X-Men trick, but it works every time, and it got very effective for the X-Men later because their new teams and their new members would rotate into the story so fast sometimes. That was like that little caption box here was your only introduction for the issue. But we get Black Cobra here having a complete post-traumatic syndrome flashback, and he lashes out at this dude, Nefim 5, and he completely shreds him. I love the double blade into the temple. You know, speaking of X-Men, that's just Psylocke all the way. But yeah, but our team, our boys, Flameshot, Distant Thunder, they win. They they defeat the bad guy, and then we get into like, it's a gotcha, okay? And I kind of feel like for the initial intro of this character, like, let's just assume that you're buying Black Cobra for the first time, or you're getting this in your hands for the first time, and this is your intro. Everything being a gotcha for an intro seems deflating, but I do like the idea of the team shot, everyone running towards you. We have many characters here to be interested in. You know, like, I just wish there was a little bit more explanation when it comes to what the scenario was for the training session, if we're doing this holographic deck gotcha. But we're not done. So what we get here too, we get something, to me, this is awesome. This is very modern. This is very Watchmen. But we have essentially an ESP doing a therapy session, and we get into the origin of this character. We get into a little bit of the mindset. We get a little bit of how he ended up where he is, and he's a missionary. He ends up in Africa, and get this, all right, this is what I mean. Best character, he gets bitten by a radioactive snake and trains and becomes Black Cobra. And you might be out there saying, look, Pete, we need more detail, we need better origins, we need this, we need that. The truth is, we don't. And the reason is because we have to keep things within the spirit of comics, and we have to keep things loose at times. That doesn't mean there's not stories down the road to embellish origins, but we're also there to get to the hero and get to the act of the hero. We're in a little bit of an age where everyone is obsessed with origin stories, and that's the only thing a lot of these characters are now. They're only an origin story. Characters are the adventures, not the origin stories. I think the origin for Black Cobra is one of the most comic book and fun and original I've seen in a while. But yeah, so we get some mindset. We get into the mind of Stuart Moore, right? Shamir Moore, I'm sorry. We get into the mindset of Shamir Moore, and it's effective. By the time we're done with these two quick stories, we understand the powers of Black Cobra, and we understand the mindset of him, and that's pretty cool. But we get a bio in Black Cobra, we get a bio on Southhawk, we get a bio in Distant Thunder. Distant Thunder's bio here was actually freaking awesome. Abducted by Luciferian cult and basically tortured and beaten, and then he basically prays to God for strength. He prays to God, and God kind of gives him this power here, which is kind of cool. And then along the way, he forgives his captors. Powerful stuff. Reading this like kind of gave me like some good ideas. But anyway, people, this is Black Cobra. It's short, but it's there, and all the info for this linked down below. So please check it out. And I will be drawing Black Cobra live. We'll be doing some live streams of him. Hopefully we can start the drawing before we wrap up Black History Month. All right, AKA Patters. So everything for Bill, everything for Grok Comics, the links are down below. Check those out. Look, if any part of me just doing these videos, talking to all of you, if any part of it resonates, the best thing you can do is support the people we discuss. We already did a independent comic book a couple days ago. It was called Backlash, like true independent comic. That dude's already getting a level of attention he wasn't getting before. Now, that doesn't guarantee everything that happens with the attention, okay? But the idea we're trying to get across is that with attention, things can change, and sometimes it's just with the artist, with the creator looking themselves in the mirror. And that's what we're trying to change here with Grok Comics. We're trying to encourage Grok Comics to constantly test, constantly see, and you're almost like creating books sometimes in the vacuum, and you gotta be out of the vacuum to kind of see what the market's saying, what the market thinks. And that's hard to do when you're independent, because your resources are so limited, and it takes so much more energy to move the needle than it takes for some of these other books or other competitors that have larger resources, or like more than one person that they hire. Bill is essentially a one-person show. He's a project management godsend. I mean, the way how he manages all of these books, I think there's multiple lessons in there, period. But we want to encourage, and we want to communicate, and we want to reach out. You don't always have to spend the money. Spending the money to buy books isn't always the only support. The only support is to do, like, or the prime support is to do both. But what we want to do, we want to encourage and support. That's critical, and it's critical for the future of comics. We're not going to the big two anymore for entertainment. We have to find veins. We have to find the people that are out there doing what we want. And Bill is one of them, and Grok is one of them. So people, AKAPAD here, we're doing this for Black History Month. So AO, rock and roll, I love you.
You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange.